Sick and tired of falling asleep while reading? You just wish you'd go to bed and have everything read for you? Hi, I'm John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. You might know me by a father's name. His name is my name too. But for this infomercial, just call me John. I'm here to tell you about a revolutionary new product, the Sleepmosis Reader. Well now, with the Sleepmosis Reader, you can actually read the books while you sleep. It is the greatest invention in reading and literacy since Gutenberg's printed press. All you need is a Sleepmosis Reader pillow and a specially patented cord. What you do is you go to your computer, download your favorite ebook onto the computer, and then plug the USB cord into the pillow. When you go to bed and wake up, you'll be more refreshed and you have new knowledge inside of your head. It's just that easy. But don't take my word for it, but let's hear some true stories of people whose lives have been affected by the Sleepmosis Reader.
I'm Mrs. Escalante Mumford. You may have heard of my father, Mr. Jaime Escalante. I am a second-year reading teacher at Chicago Public Schools. My first year, I had the hardest time getting my students to read in class. But ever since finding the wonderful Sleepmosis readers, my students are reading all the time in class while getting precious sleep. While my students read, that's when I take advantage and write meaningful lesson plans. It works for all of my students, and I think it'll work for your student too.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sasparella Quinn. When the makers of the Sleepmosis Reader asked me to give my information on their new product, I said indeed. I couldn't resist after I found out how great this new product is. I'm currently a neurophysicist at the Cleveland Clinic, focusing on neurodevelopment in young adolescents, especially when it applies to reading and literacy. In the past 6 years, I've worked with the U.S. Department of Education, and I'm here to tell you, you should be worried about your students' progress. In comparison to China, the children in America are reading far fewer books. It's something we should be concerned about. I know that we used to love reading as children, but today's kids are only concerned with video games and television. The Sleepmosis Reader changes the game. Let me tell you about what I have discovered while working with Mrs. Mumford Escalante in the Chicago Public Schools. After working with Mrs. Mumford Escalante for 6 weeks, I was able to see firsthand just how big a role the Sleepmosis Reader played in her classroom. At the beginning of the 6 weeks, it was clear to me that students were not only not reading, but were also not understanding what they read. Mrs. Mumford Escalante, what was it like in your class at the beginning of our 6-week study?
It was horrible. The students didn't want to read, and they just kept falling asleep. But after the Sleepmosis pillow, things got a lot better.
That's awesome to hear. And you know what? It's not only getting students to read, but it's also getting them to enjoy what they read and getting them to read it meaningfully. I can read all 300 pages of A Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, but does that mean I'm going to understand it? No. With great teachers like Mrs. Mumford Escalante, she can implement the Sleepmosis Reader, and then she can plan meaningful lessons that help her kids study what the book means and how it applies to their life.
Yes, while students are sleeping most of the time, that's when I take the initiative and create lessons. The way the books work, it works during the dreams, and so some of the book is implemented into their dreams, and so they're comprehending it, and that way I use that information in my lessons.
The REM cycle, or the REM cycle, is known as the most memorable and meaningful state of deep sleep. The Sleepmosis Reader uses the REM cycle to transmit the bulk of the information while sleeping. While sleeping, the students are able to comprehend and understand the reading so that when they wake up, they're ready to discuss what was transmitted into their heads during their sleep time. What's great about the Sleepmosis Reader is it's not only valuable for students in schools, it's also valuable for the average citizen who just doesn't have enough time to read. You can read magazines, books, articles, and other periodicals. It's really a great tool for everyone who wants to read more but just doesn't have the time or energy.
As you can tell, all Americans can use the Sleepmosis Reader, including college students. A college student has to read a lot instead of their college classes. However, they don't have much time to do it in. Now, a college student can actually read their textbooks while sleeping. Simply plug the book into their Sleepmosis Reader, and then they can read chapters while they're asleep. In fact, 79% of all Harvard students say that the Sleepmosis Reader has significantly improved their test scores in college. As you can tell, Anyone can use the Sleepmosis Reader. Now that we've learned all the fantastic uses of the Sleepmosis Reader in your daily lives, let's see the different options you have. We have a variety of pillows, more masculine pillows to the more feminine pillows, and pillows for all different body sizes and needs. There also are special travel size pillows and full bed size pillows as well. So no matter what your needs, Sleepmosis Readers are here to help you out. Join the 7 million Americans who have already fallen in love with the Sleepmosis Reader. You don't want to be the only one left behind who is wasting their valuable sleeping time by not reading. All you have to do is call the number at the bottom of the screen. That's 1-800-867-5309. It's a one-time fee of $29.95, and you can choose from a variety of sizes. Also, if you call right now in the next 10 minutes, we will include this nifty travel-sized Sleepmosis Reader to read on vacation. Once again, that's 1-800-867-5309. Sleepmosis Reader, you can make your sleeping time your reading time.